What's up, friends, and happy Friday. Welcome into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com alongside Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. Dan, we are matching again. Can you believe this?
This is unreal.
It has happened for,
Great minds think alike.
I mean,
but
no, we seriously
again,
need to start texting each
this
other
is embarrassing
to
for one of
not
us.
wear the same thing.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna
This
text
is-
you and be like, "Hey, I'm wearing a blue shirt." Be like, oh, me
The problem
too.
is we wear a lot of blue shirts, but
yeah, that's like
need
it's
to-
either
we
like
need to-
blue or like gray or black.
we
That's like
need
the
to
only
quit it
like
out.
three colors of shirts that either one of us owns.
It's been a mess
The
recently,
black
but
hat
here
is
we
also
are.
kinda-
You'll never be able to tell us apart
No.
here on KansasNation.com.
I'm the better looking one.
Want to give a quick shout out to Miles Schneider and everybody over at Crown Automotive. Appreciate their partnership. Tell you what we got going on today. Of course, the big thing this weekend, late night in the fog tonight at 6:30 at Allen Fieldhouse. The men's and women's basketball teams will scrimmage and a lot of entertainment going down as well. Make sure you're locked into KansasNation.com and all of our socials to keep up with quality content. We're going to hear from the two-time national champion Bill Self here in the opening segment. The rest of his extended press conference that we heard the first part of yesterday. Then a couple more Jayhawks. We got all sorts of Jayhawks we're hearing from. Elmarko Jackson and Kohl Rosario, who's kind of the talk of the town. We'll hear from those two next segment. Plus, sprinkle in some NFL game picks. Dude, Jamar Chase, anytime touchdown. Are you kidding me? I said free money, but I do want to congratulate you. You hit a plus 960, Dan. Unbelievable job. I can only imagine the ones are flying out of your wallet right now.
That was my game pick yesterday. Was Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns. I neglected to put any money on it because I did not have confidence in myself. And it hit.
Dude.
So that's how it always works, right? I always go with the big ones and I go, this is gonna happen, and then I never put money on it, and then they always hit. And then the ones that I do put money on, they always lose. And you should never take my advice.
Don't act like I wasn't on a heater also.
I also had the over too. That was huge.
Jamar Chase anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
I had Aaron Rodgers interception.
That was
It's plus 118.
What do you have? 3
More
or
free
he had 2
money.
interceptions?
I think one was called back. I think he ended up with 2. And then Bengals money line plus 220.
Sure.
I put my foot in the ground. I said Bengals going to win
that
this game.
That was huge.
You're like, dude, I love the Steelers.
I thought Steelers were going to clean up.
Yeah, well, it was 10-0 early, but yeah, the Bengals. Is Joe Flacco,
Congratulations to both
Don't
of us.
doubt the hater. After our NFL game picks, we're going to bring on Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star in studio to talk all things KU basketball and football. 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sports stock market. We'll tell you why stock is down on Arby's, but up on plagiarism. Can't wait to hear about that.
A lot of fun stuff.
In our sports stock market. We're going to hear from the KU head women's basketball coach, Brandon Schneider, following that. And we're going to close out the show hearing from Melvin Council Jr. as well as Samis Calderon, plus some college football game picks courtesy of Dan Courtwright. All that coming up on the show. But late night in the fog, 6:30. That's the big story. Bill Self was asked about that and all sorts of things a couple days ago at Fog Allen. Let's hear everything the Hall of Famer had to say.
You spoke highly of Samis over the course of the summer. What's the next step look like for him during the preseason, and what are hopes for him during the year?
Well, Samis he's a great prospect, but right now he's probably a better prospect than he is player. Just because he's long, run, jump, explosive, quick twitch, all the stuff. But I will say this: the drill work and everything has to be translated to the game, and he just needs to play. Even last year, he's hurt almost the whole year, didn't play or play much. So he just needs reps to me, and that will determine what his role will be probably this year as much as anything.
Bill, you've had a few rounds with the portal, and I wonder, I'm thinking Trey White here a little bit. Do you find that the guys that have been to multiple stops when they get to a certain age is their game any different than maybe a guy you'd had for 3 years in your program? Are you seeing any of that, or is that too early to tell?
It's probably, I think every person's different. Melvin's been in Count JUCO. This is his 4th program, and Trey's been in obviously 3 others. So this is his 4th. He got Jaden that's been in 1. And then you had AJ that had been in 3. We were his 4th. And he got Rylan that had been in 1. Nick had been in 1. There's Remy had been in 1. So who knows? I think the thing with Trey that makes him so attractive is his IQ is really high, and so he can take what he's learned from everybody, and he's been well coached, is learned from everybody, and not disregard it, but utilize that in a way of what we're trying to do things, as opposed to some, it's like, okay, forget about everything you've ever been taught. We do things different. Then I think when you know, like with Trey, he'd say, yeah, we do it different, but we massage it, but still principles are the same, and this, and this. So I think he'll benefit from playing for other, playing for Danny, obviously, and Kenny, but Danny a lot at Louisville, and Andy at USC, and then of course Brad, tougher, harder, faster. Those are things that translate anywhere. So I think it'll be pretty much a seamless transition for him. Did you guys talk to Trey?
Yeah.
I don't know if he told you the same thing.
No, he loves it.
Yeah,
exactly.
he feels comfortable. So
When you have a player like Darren, do you have to coach him differently at all when he's come in with, you talk about his IQ, do you have to coach him differently at all?
you know what? I don't know if you have to. I think the tendency is sometimes you do. And I think if you do coach him differently, you're doing him a disservice. So I'm trying not to. I'm trying to coach him where the expectations are the exact same as what it would be for anybody else. And he's been great as far as accepting the responsibility and all, because he wants to be great. He wants to be good. But he needs to be told, just like everybody does, is what makes him good here and what translates to the next level. But he's still 18 years old. So even though he's got a mature game and the game's in slow motion, he's still just a kid that's still got to go through his ups and downs and figure it out. But he's obviously got a chance to have a special year.
I don't want to say this right. As a coach, can you gauge, this relates to Darren Peterson, different levels of competitiveness and work ethic? He just seems like he's on almost a business-like approach, just a different level. Is that?
I think he is. I think he is on a business approach. Get better. We got to get better. All those things. But I will say this: how many freshmen out there? Maybe Cooper last year to an extent, but you still have these. He's still a kid, even though he comes in with a lot of hype, and the hype is real. But still, yet he's still going to have dips. I mean, how many rookies of the year in the NBA have still do this? And even though I would think Cooper last year at Duke. I mean, I wasn't there, but I would still think he had this, especially early. He's going to go through that, but that doesn't mean that their approach isn't right. His approach is right. He's got to get more consistent with some things that he's never been told is important, like moving without the ball, being harder to guard when you don't have the ball, things like that, because people will take that away now that haven't been able to take it away in high school. So I mean, there's still a lot of things he's got to learn, but he's a willing learner, no doubt about it.
Now that you've had him for a couple months, what does G provide in terms of the experience in the locker room element?
I think everybody likes G, but his value is in practice.
Yeah.
We in large part wanted him. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to play, but we in large part wanted him because we thought he could be a little guy that could play underneath Darren and half-court offense and stuff like that, because there'll be plenty of possessions where he's being guarded by a bigger guard. But now we wanted to have many possessions where it's guarded by a guy that could play underneath him. So, his value in many ways is making sure that the other guy is ready to go.
Sorry, just to circle back to Jeremy, with this promotion, is any part of that thinking about the future of Kansas basketball,
No.
or are you just thinking about his career?
Think about his career. Yeah. You guys. I mean, I guess it's fair and all that stuff, but there's been no coaching move that's transpired that is based on anything. How does it make Kansas better today? So.
Elmarko said that the players are calling Kohl Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. What's your reaction to that? And why do you think that they're calling him that?
First of all, Steve Rogers was a pitcher for the Montreal Expos way back in the day. Isn't that right, Brian? I mean. So I don't even know who Steve Rogers, Captain America. I assume that means All-American type kid. Does that mean?
Like Captain America, like the superhero.
Oh, he's a superhero. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I wouldn't quite go that far yet, but I think there's some things about him that you'll find very pleasantly surprising. Like, you're not going to believe how bouncy he is. He can really shoot the ball, and he's streaky, but he's hungry to shoot it. But he's getting better, more consistent all the time, and he tries so hard in that he can't get tired. He just doesn't get tired. If that makes him a superhero, then AKA Steve Rogers, then I would call him the same thing.
You've been around a long time. Have you ever seen anybody have a rise that like he had this summer? I think he went from like a 3-star, and the next thing you know, every program in the country was wanting him. What do you think allowed him to do that? And have you ever seen that before?
Well, he tries really hard. He was playing for CP3 in the summertime, which obviously gets great exposure, and they play in the big deals. And whenever Chris Paul is coaching you, there's more eyes on those games naturally and stuff like that. And deservedly so. And he played with other good players on his team. But guys, he was rated a lot higher than Ochai was. And Ochai's first team AP All-American. I mean, these things happen. Now, has he had a meteoric rise in a short amount of time? I guess you could say that. But the reality of it is, I think that people that knew his game and been around him knew that potential was always there. So I don't know if it surprised him. May surprise others, but not himself, probably.
And you've said before, bringing in freshmen is maybe a little easier kind of to coach just because they don't know anything. You kind of
they don't know what they don't know. I mean,
have you done a lot more teaching this leading up to this season, and have you kind of enjoyed that maybe?
I don't know that we've done a lot more teaching, but I do think there's been maybe less steps skipped. When you have Hunter and KJ and Juan, it becomes pretty boring if you work on the same things that we worked on the first day when they were freshmen, although Hunt wasn't here, but obviously the other two. So maybe this year, with only Flory being really, Flory's our vet coming back, and he's a sophomore. So to that point, I hadn't really thought about it, but I'd say we probably skipped and not rushed through as many steps last year trying to get to meat and potatoes. So, we're at the point of meat and potatoes now, but it's still much more detailed than probably what it was before. Yeah, that's a good question.
What do you think of Friday's late night? Being a month into the season, will it be a different kind of scrimmage?
No, it'll be the same thing. We'll do the same things. We've done it actually like this, Gary, as you know, for the last 3 or 4 years, in large part because of USA Basketball. Because USA Basketball has their weekend, and you want to bring recruits in, you don't want to do it at the same time. So we tried to stay away from that. But it's obviously a big recruiting deal, but it's not as big, I don't think, in many ways as what it has been in the past. It's a good weekend, but it's not like it's the it seemed like in the past we had one recruiting weekend to really bring guys in and showcase our place, and now the energy at the football stadium and all that other stuff going on, now I feel like it's not so important to have it all that one weekend. So I think we got one guy coming in officially this weekend, and that's it. But God, we've also had 4 already make decisions. So, so that's where we're at too, and that may be why.
What do you think of the absence of a rapper?
You know what? I've actually laid awake sleepless many nights, worrying about, Little John or 2 Chainz or who else has been here. Flo Rida, Lil Yachty. We've had some good guys that have gone on and even had, I think late night survived, 30 years without having a rapper. So, but we're having dueling DJs, which to me is even better, because if no matter what genre you like, or what is a hip thing to play, you're actually going to get that. So I think it'll be a fun night.
I was wondering how Tiller and Elmarko came back from their injuries. Are they doing well?
Yeah, they're both 100%. Marco's remarkable. His commitment to get back off of patellar tendon is he's been a perfect patient, so to speak. From what they tell me, his commitment to the rehab has been, second to none. Going back to a Brandon Rush type, coming back from his ACL, and he's fine. He just needs, and he's actually looking great athletically. And Bryson, I haven't seen any side effects or ill effects of his situation either.
And what do you think of tourney expansion?
What, 68 to 76? Is that what you're talking about? I would say my initial hunch would probably be no. But I thought it was no when we went from 48 to 54, and then no when you go from 54 to 64, and then no when you go from 64 to 68, all that stuff. The one thing I would say is going to 76, if I'm not mistaken, is basically adding 4 more games to the Dayton type setup, if I'm not mistaken. So now it's Tuesday game for a Thursday game, or a Wednesday game for a Friday game, if I'm not mistaken. So, I don't know if that's the most positive thing, but as long as the Masters is with CBS and the tournament is with CBS, you've got to squeeze everything into that three weekend window. And I actually, I have no answers, but my initial gut is I think we're okay at 68.
Coach, I wanted to ask about Guy. How does a guy like that even get on your radar? There's obviously not been a ton of recruits transferring directly from Canadian universities. There's been high school recruits.
G.
Sorry.
It was primarily through agents. We had said all along we need to find somebody that could be a ball handler and hopefully make an open shot and create some pace. So it was late in the process, and we through agents we found this guy out. And I love his personality. I think he's terrific. And he wants to be here, and he had opportunities to go to other places, probably have a bigger role. But he knows the time and score. He knows the situation, and he can be a nice piece for what we need, and he can also be an insurance policy, so to speak. And that's what he came here for, to be a part of Kansas. And so I'm really happy that he's here.
And then how do you think Melvin's sort of experience, where he's played a lot of college ball so far, will really help the team?
Well, I think Melvin's going to be hard to beat out. I'm not saying he won't be, but he's going to be hard to beat out. He's been good. He's got pace. He needs to get comfortable with me, which I think he's getting more comfortable. But I like it. He and Elmarko athletically are about That's about as athletic and as quick twitch as you're going to find. So and they're both long. So I see him being hopefully an elite defender, and I see he and Marco mirroring each other, and I envision Darren and Melvin and Elmarko sharing that 80 minutes, if that makes sense to you. So I'm not saying somebody else can't butt over there some, but those three guys have got to play.
All right, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
That's head coach Bill Self speaking to the media a couple days ago. Late night in the fog tonight at 6:30. One thing that I didn't get a chance to talk about yesterday regarding Coach Self, and obviously he spoke at length, Dan, but regarding Darren Peterson, obviously he's this all-world talent, and KU's success is going to be largely dependent on him. The answer that he had to the question of, what sets him apart, what makes him different, Bill Self said a lot of times for freshmen, or he gave the other sports references, a quarterback who gets thrown out there, a lot going on. There's a lot of things that are in fast motion, if you will. But for Darren, everything is in slow motion. And that kind of goes into the whole, he plays certainly like an older player, and that is meant as a big compliment. Everything's slow for him. He can see everything, and he should have a special season.
Well, you certainly would hope so, right? I mean, preseason freshman of the year in the Big 12, presumably going to be the #1 overall draft pick, and you love to hear that because, look, Bill Self has said it. Greg Gurley has said it. He said he thinks this is the #1 guy. I mean, Self has to say that every single year, like, oh, hey, this is the best guy I've ever had in. Darren Peterson is legitimately the best guy Bill Self has ever brought in, and he's giving him the reins. He's never done that with a freshman before, so it's going to be so exciting to watch him play.
And Self has said that in the past, and you look at the #1 players that Kansas has brought in with Andrew Wiggins and Josh Jackson before Darren Peterson. Self has said things about Peterson that he hadn't said about anybody.
Right. Exactly,
so that's what sets him aside. But yeah, #EyesOn22 was on Kansas basketball's Twitter. That's kind of the go-to thing. But a lot to look forward to at late night. Of course, you have the connection of guard and big with DP and Flory Bidunga. That'll be big. Plus, DP talking the other day about how he likes playing with Melvin Council and Kohl Rosario. Going to be a lot of great combinations to look at. And yeah, hopefully the guys shoot the ball well at late night as well. Defense usually is hard to find at that event.
How many steals do you think there are tonight?
Hopefully there's a few runouts. Let's get a few runouts.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Late night should be fun though tonight, 6:30. Be locked in at KansasNation.com. After this, we're going to hear from Elmarko Jackson and Kohl Rosario. Plus, we'll sprinkle in a few NFL game picks on Rock Chalk Sports. Thanks for watching KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Elmarko Jackson, needless to say, a guy we are all cheering for, right? He's been here as long as anybody. He and Jamari McDowell, third-year players here at KU. Elmarko hopefully primed for a big redshirt sophomore season after that injury last year. Let's hear from Elmarko a couple days ago at the Fog.
That on Friday? Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super excited for the team to showcase what we got. I feel like we're super athletic, and we've got a lot of depth this year. So I'm excited for the fans to see the first showcase of what this team has to offer.
What was the toughest part of setting out that year? I mean, entire year.
Toughest part probably like just having to get my range of motion back, my knee. I'm already not the most flexible person, so just cranking on my knee every day wasn't that fun. So
you had the year off. The difference between Elmarko in year one and now. I mean, what's your role look like, and is there something that you bring to this team that you can count on game in and game out?
I feel like my shooting is definitely improved, and just consistently my decision making. I feel like it gets better every day. I'll be talking with the coaches on getting simple reads, simple plays, and making sure we get a shot every time down the floor. So
what was it like staying engaged over the past year? You're making sure you're still part of the team and getting a lot of mental reps. Just what were you kind of doing in the middle of that year?
It was pretty easy. I mean, just watching practice, trying to just see what we was trying to get to, and just staying engaged with the team was pretty easy. I mean, we hung out, a lot outside the practice, facilities and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to just chill, talk with the guys, kick it.
What was your exact injury?
I tore my patella, a rupture in my
Which leg?
My left knee.
Is it one of the worst injuries to rehab from?
I mean, I don't know. This is the only big injury I've had. So, yeah.
You guys, the previous 2 years, you guys ranked number 1 at the end of the season. Now 19. Is there a ceiling? Have you guys talked about? I mean, what are the expectations?
I mean, it's the same every year. I mean, first and foremost, start winning the Big 12 championship, and then building off of that and seeing what we could carry, going into the postseason. But I mean, definitely, I feel like we're getting overlooked. I mean, but it's good. It's a good change of pace for us. We're going from being, we're still the hunted, but now we're starting the season as the hunters. So I feel like we got a bunch of guys that are hungry and willing to put in the work. So.
And your freshman year, did you learn anything about yourself maybe that you didn't know?
Just like resilience and being able to stay calm under pressure, stay poised.
How good's Darren?
Like, really good.
He is. What makes him? Obviously, I know he's really competitive, but what makes him maybe separate from others? I mean, what's the differentiation?
Different. I mean, he's talented. He's like uber athletic scorer. And when he's high, it's hard to stop him because he can shoot off the dribble, catch and shoot, and he's willing to get other people involved in the game. So he's not one-dimensional. Yeah, like he could do a lot to pause in a bunch of different ways. So.
And is there a guy on the team this year that's going to surprise people that maybe people aren't talking about or know of?
I'm sure you guys know about Kohl.
Like, how about Paul? What's he like? Is he a bruiser? I mean, is he big body?
Yeah, he's a bruiser for sure. Big body. Rim protector. So yeah.
Who can really shoot?
Who can really shoot? I feel like Trey doesn't get a lot of credit for his shooting. He's a really good shooter. Obviously, you guys know JD can shoot, Kohl, DP. It's probably the top shooters.
What about Tiller now that he's back? He was hurt too. Mm-hmm. How good is he?
He's really good. I feel like, he's a really good short roll four-man. He's got the ability to, get a good mismatch, and then we can play off of that, so it's really good.
What do you think Self has in store for you? Because you're a veteran. He desperately needs guys that know the system. But what has he told you, where you'll play and everything?
Just playing combo guard, looking to get other people's shots and find my shots as well. And just bring leadership to the team just because it's my third year here and, I kind of understand what, the coaching staff kind of wants out the players and the team. So just bringing that mindset every day.
Who usually guards you and who do you guard?
I'm usually guarding like DP, Melvin, Kohl, really all the guards, and likewise, we don't have like set matchups.
Yeah. Is DP hard to guard or just like a normal player?
I mean, he's obviously a little bit more difficult, but over the course of the summer and the fall, you kind of pick up on people's moves and stuff like that. So, yeah.
You were here.
When were you cleared 100% to play full up and down?
I was cleared 100% in the summer, late June.
You were here last year with Flory. What jump have you seen from him?
I say his conditioning, his confidence. I say just his overall IQ of the game. He's making plays that he didn't make last year, having the ball in his hand, making jumpers, bringing the ball up the floor. I feel like he's more a versatile player, and his athleticism adds a lot to our team. I feel like it's a lot easier to play, through him and around him. So.
Gary mentioned, this is your third year. Obviously, you and Jamari, you guys are kind of the veterans. Have you guys together had any conversations about that, or just kind of coaches talk to you about you guys bringing on the culture at KU?
A little bit, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just like, feel like yesterday was kind of just freshmen coming in, but now, we're the older guys along with, Wilder. But yeah, just creating a culture that's good and, healthy, just creating somewhere, guys want to, come back in the gym, get extra work in, and just, go hard every day, so, and compete in practice, so, yeah.
How much do you shoot threes on your own? Could you give us
Well, that's Elmarko Jackson. Do you like El Scoro or El Dunco? There's a lot of great
I
nicknames.
like El Dunco. El Dunco is so fun.
Yeah.
El Scoro is great too. A lot of great
El
nicknames.
Assisto.
El Assisto.
Yeah,
El Rebound.
they're all good. Yeah, no, hey, we're cheering for him for sure. Well, who's a guy that we're just not talking about?
I mean,
have we even mentioned
Kohl Rosario?
Oh, wow. Yeah, we haven't even mentioned
I forgot he was on the team.
Man, people just are not talking about Kohl Rosario. Let's hear from Kohl Rosario, and maybe they'll start talking about him after. Here's Kohl on Wednesday.
A couple guys said your nickname is Steve Rogers. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Man, they've been comparing me to Captain America. I kind of see it, but so I guess that's what they've been calling me. I think the mustache kind of plays a part in it, but
yeah,
I think that's why.
Samis said he played against you last summer, and he said the growth that you've had from that point to this point is pretty tangible. Where have you gotten better since you guys played?
Yes, I think it's just improving, like perfecting what I'm already good at, shooting, playing without the ball, and then also going 100% on every single play. Like I would do it a whole bunch last year, but now I'm making it a point in my mind to do it every single time.
Kohl, this summer you had a pretty unprecedented rise. I think at one point you were a 3-star. Maybe next thing you know, every single program in the country is after you. Why Kansas? Why did you end up choosing this place? Because you could have probably gone anywhere.
I actually canceled 2 visits after Kansas. As soon as I stepped foot here, I knew this was going to be home. Just the traditions that we have here and Coach Self, how many wins he has. It's just a winning program, and that's what I want to do here is win.
What were the 2 visits you canceled?
Duke and Miami.
Were those the other, would that have been your top 3, or were there other schools you're thinking of?
Probably. All that matters now, I'm at Kansas. This is where I'm at now.
Obviously, there's a couple guys that signed from OTE. You guys have potentially 5 guys next year here. Yeah. How cool is that?
I think that's pretty cool. We're doing a lot of recruiting. Coach Self is over there a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. And I think it's pretty cool that we already got 3 guys on the team now, and also 2 other guys that signed for 26 and 27.
But why do you think Self is so drawn to overturn?
I'm not sure. You would have to ask him.
What do you think your role will be like this year?
Right now, I think my role just getting offensive boards, getting the team extra possessions, and hitting shots. The threes is what I'm good at, and I have to really tone in on that and make sure I deliver and play my role.
How's that chemistry been with Darren, with Flory, etc.?
I think everyone's playing really well right now, and I think we're going to peak at the right time.
What were your first impressions of Darren, and has it changed at all, or is he just continually living up to what you thought of him?
Yeah, he's continually living up. Obviously, I didn't really get to see him play. My first time I saw him was on my visit, and he's a really good player. He impressed me a lot.
What about his game impresses you?
It's just everything. He's good at everything. Like off the dribble, pull-ups, getting other people open. I like playing with him. He'll draw 2 people, leave me wide open. So I like that.
Is there any moment, anything that he's done specifically that has kind of left you like, wow?
There was one time in practice he had 9 straight threes, I think.
In June, when you got here, you sat in this exact corner and you gave us the great quote about reclassifying, saying when you're the best player in the gym, you find a new gym.
Yeah.
For the last 4 months, how are you fitting into this gym?
It's great. We got people here to push. Everyone here is good. It's Kansas. Everyone's great players. So I think we all push each other. Iron sharpens iron, and we get each other better every single day.
Where have you come the farthest in those 4 months?
I say as far as my development, I've been really been shooting it a whole lot better, and also learning just to play in the system that Coach Self has. I think I've really improved in that area.
How's his style of coaching? How are you acclimating to the Bill Self?
I love it. He lets you play. If you're hitting shots, he lets you keep shooting, and I like that.
What does he get on you guys the most for?
I would say moving the ball, swinging the ball. He doesn't like when the ball sticks too much, and finding the open guy.
There's the man that nobody's been talking about, Kohl Rosario. If you missed our show yesterday, we talked a lot about Kohl Rosario. In fact, have been. I think a lot of people locally
there was 3 questions about Kohl Rosario.
Caught on to that.
Why is no one talking about Kohl Rosario?
So
everybody's talking about.
Nationally, people probably don't realize how big of an impact he's going to have, but we think he'll have a large one on this year's Kansas team. But well-spoken, of course, with the media. He's primed for a great season here in Lawrence. All right, let's do some NFL game picks before we get to Shreyas Laddha, who's going to join the show.
That's right.
From the Kansas City Star. All right, Dan, let's start with breakfast ball, if you
Yes.
will. Rams, Jaguars. No one hosts an international game quite like Jacksonville, so they are the home team. +3 against the Rams, over under 44.5.
This is a 6:30 kick for the Pacific Coast time. Do you know this?
That checks out.
Isn't that crazy? 6:30
Do you know that
kickoff.
all the 8:30 Central ones are 6:30 kicks?
Yeah, I'm aware, but
Okay.
but it's the Rams that are playing in this one. That's why it's important.
Oh, okay. That
I
makes
love the
more
Rams
sense.
in this game. I always tend to go with the unders for the London game, so give me the under 44.5. But I love the Rams on this line -3.
Give me the +3. I don't like it, but I think the Jags lose by a field goal. It's an even. Chiefs
So is it
hosting.
a push?
It's a push. Chiefs hosting the Raiders. Chiefs are -11.5. Over under 45.5.
That's such a huge line, right?
Give me the
Give me the
Raiders.
Chiefs.
Give me the Raiders, man.
Rashee Rice, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's back, baby.
Chiefs win 28-17.
Those
they
are
don't
my
quite
picks, by the way.
They don't quite cover the number. If that happens, a 28-17 win, then Vegas would have called this perfectly, as it's -11.5 and
That's true.
45.5. But that's my prediction. Chiefs don't quite cover in a game after an emotional win for KC. Titans hosting the Patriots. Tennessee's +7, over under 42.5.
I like the Titans here, man. I think they got the fired head coach boost. I think that every team gets that. They get an interim in. It's always somebody that they bring in from within. The players rally behind them. I love the Titans here, man.
Unless it's the Ravens in 2025 without Lamar Jackson, if a home team is an underdog by 7 or more, I'm taking the underdog.
Yeah.
And give me the Titans +7. Vikings hosting the Eagles, essentially a coin flip, but the Vikings are getting 1.5, over under 43.5 at US Bank.
I think I like the Vikings in this one. The Eagles have been just so weird, and their offense has been bad. Their defense has been dreadful. I like the under in this game, 43.5.
I
Give me
got
the Vikings too.
I got one word for you.
Take the point.
Take the point.
That
Plus
means
1.5.
Vikings money line.
Such a mistake. Bears hosting Saints. Ain't nobody going to watch this one. Bears are kind of hot. -4.5 at home, over under 46.5.
Love the Bears here. I love the Bears here. And you know what I always say? What's my motto? I'll try anything twice. And also fade the Saints.
And also fade the Panthers last year.
Yes.
Okay.
Also fade the Panthers.
I also like the Bears -4.5. That's not a trap, is it? Jets hosting the Panthers. Jets are +1.5, over under 42.5.
I like the Panthers here. This is weird. Is that weird?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
Panthers
saying.
have been playing all right ball,
If
man.
the Panthers win this game, that's one
the Jets
step.
had -10
That's one
net
step
yards.
closer to Aaron Glenn going 0-9 and getting fired in your book.
That's true.
You
Give me
like
Panthers,
you like
baby.
Panthers? Okay, they're
Give me the
-1.5. So
Panthers.
what do? Push the point
I'll
away.
push the point away.
You push the
You're
point
right.
away.
So
Money
I'll
line.
take Panthers money line -125.
Oh, for God's sakes. Browns hosting the Dolphins. Browns are -2.5, over under 37.5. God, what a
Oh,
terrible game.
What a horrible game. I like the Browns here, though. I think no, I take it back. The more I think about it, give me the Dolphins here. I think Mike McDaniel's really going to try to pull out all the punches here.
I don't
He's trying to save his job.
I don't trust Dylan Gabriel. It's the Dolphins. I get it, but they're the ones getting the points. Give me the 2.5 and the Dolphins. Broncos hosting the Giants. Denver's -7, over under 39.5.
I like the Giants here, man. Jackson Dart, Cam Skydaboo coming off of the best rookie performances we've seen at least all year, right? Give me the Giants here. I think the Denver Broncos still win by a field goal.
I kind of like this +7 as well. I think Broncos -5 or 5.5 would be a more appropriate line. Give me the full 7 with the
Sure.
New York Football Giants. Chargers -1.5, hosting the Colts, over under 48.5.
It's in LA, so it's going to be
Which is where UCLA is.
and UCLA is there, but it's in LA. What I was going
It's
for,
us
what I was
and-
going for
It's
is
us and
it's us and USC. What I was going for is it's going to be practically a home game for the Colts because nobody goes to
Right.
Chargers games in LA. I like the Chargers here. I'm still out on the Colts. I think they're frauds.
but in terms of college, UCLA
Jonathan
is
Taylor's been incredible. Daniel Jones has been incredible. It has to stop soon. I cannot live in a world where Daniel Jones is a good quarterback.
UCLA is in LA. I just
They
want to
are.
point that. Give me Chargers money line. I'm pushing away
That's
the
right.
1.5.
God, I'm so bad at
I'll
that.
take the -125.
Push the point.
Cardinals hosting the Packers. Cards are +7 at home. They're not going to have Kyler Murray, right? It's
That's
going to be
right.
Jacoby Brissett.
Well, because I believe the new video game came out, so that's why he's out.
That's
Right?
got to be it.
That's
Over
what
under
it is.
44.5. What do you like?
I like the Packers here. I mean, I'm kind of like with the Packers. I'm the opposite of the Saints. I think the Packers are going to cover everything. I love the Packers this year. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I think I'm going to stick with what I said. Give me the Cardinals +7 at home. Packers, I think, are slightly overrated, even though we were, gushing about them not that long ago.
Yeah.
Cowboys at home hosting the football team. Cowboys +1.5, over under 54.5. Isn't NFL great? Like every line is 1.5. No one knows.
So you push this one away. Jaden,
Who are you taking?
I'm the Commanders football team.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push the push it away.
Push away. You don't want to have to. You don't want to have to give 2 points. You
I
take the
like
money
the
line.
over in this game. 54.5. I think it's going to go over that.
It's a high number.
High number. I like it.
Keep
I like
it going.
a lot.
I can't trust the Cowboys. Give me the football team, and yeah, I'm going to let that over cook. 49ers hosting the Falcons. Last one, Dan, Sunday Night Football. Look at this line. 49ers are -1.5. Over-under is 47.5.
Is it crazy that I like the 49ers here?
I don't know.
I think Drake London goes off. I think Bijan Robinson's going to have a hell of a game. But Mac Jones, something about him, he's been kind of magical. He's the best quarterback with the last name Jones in the NFL this year.
Okay.
Give me the 49ers.
All right.
It's at home. I like them.
Are you the best?
No, sorry, but you pushed the point away.
Correct.
49ers money line at -135.
There you go. God.
I'm figuring
You're
it
getting this out. Week 7 of the NFL. I think he's got it. The 47.5 seems high to me. And
It is-
usually when I
me
do that,
too.
I hit the over, but I want the under 47.5. We live in a world where the Falcons lost to the Panthers 30-0, and then like 3 weeks later beat the Bills by 10.
It's weird.
What is happening?
I don't know.
That's NFL football for you. It all gets underway with your appetizer of an 8:30 game across the pond, Jags and Rams on Sunday. Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star joins us after this. Thanks for watching Rock Chalk Sports on KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright with you on this late night Friday, and we're going to bring on a very special guest from the Kansas City Star, the man who has the best beard in the tri-state area. It is always looking crisp. Shreyas Laddha joins the show. Shreyas, thanks for coming in, man. How's the week gone?
A lot more work than I expected for an off week for KU football, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, next week is going to be even busier, right? We got Big 12 Media Days, KU volleyball against K-State, KU baseball, fall ball against K-State. I think there's a football game where K-State's coming to town, KU exhibition basketball against Louisville. So a full week next week. But yeah, Shreyas, let's start with basketball. Of course, that's the big thing tonight at 6:30, late night in the Fog. Got to hear from a lot of guys and Coach Self on Wednesday. Anything that stuck out to you, either from Coach or the players? Did you have any opinions change or adjusted in any way after getting to talk to the guys?
I mean, I think it was really interesting. Kohl Rosario was a name that I heard from so many different guys and how well he stands out. And the crazy part is this guy signed with Kansas in June. He was a 26 guy that reclassed into the 25 class. So he's clearly making a big impact on the team already, which I think is really impressive. Darren Peterson talked about how he has really great chemistry with Kohl. Kohl talked about too. Obviously, the nickname Steve Rogers apparently is around. With
Have you looked up the Expos pitcher or
No,
seen a
I have
picture?
not.
So Self said the Expos pitcher thing, and we'll have to get a photo at some point. Obviously, he's talking about Captain America,
Yeah.
but the Expos pitcher, the
Steve Rogers.
Expos pitcher Steve Rogers looks like Kohl Rosario. It's the
got a
strangest
gnarly
thing
mustache.
with
Oh
the
my God.
mustache
It is
and,
gnarly.
and all that. But
I
anyway,
think,
yeah.
I think Kohl Rosario looks like a mustache Cooper Flag. That's my
Oh,
my take.
wow.
I like that.
Like every time I see Kohl Rosario,
Yeah.
I see Cooper Flag.
Right?
Yeah.
Does he have any flag in his game? I mean, he's not quite
Well,
as
I mean,
big, but
he's got the bounce. I think he can shoot really well. I mean, like the two biggest things that I've heard about Kohl are he's a relentless rebounder, really good athleticism. He can shoot the heck out of the ball, especially with this KU team where there's a bunch of question marks, I think, shooting wise. I think Kohl is going to have some real minutes. And he's a guy that, if things go well, he could be a 2-year guy at Kansas and then go lotto or could go, mid first.
yeah.
With just his skill set is so built for, I think, the NBA.
It's so interesting because you hear the Christian Brown comp a lot. I think Cole, from everything I've heard, is maybe going to be a better freshman than Christian Brown was, but similarities there in terms of they both want to attack the rim. They both can stroke it a little bit. They've got the bounce, all that sort of thing. So do you see any of that? CB obviously was a 3-year player, had 12 and 12 in the national championship game, but it seems like he's trending that way.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it seems like his work ethic is similar to CB in that sense. Like they both work their tail off. Just his ability to be coachable. I think those things guys love to hear, coaches love to hear. I mean, Self talked about it, right? Where he tells him something that he needs to improve on, and this guy works so hard to either implement it, and within a week or 2 weeks or whatever, he's either very close to mastering that skill, or like, he's made significant amount of progress. And I feel like that is such an impressive thing, like for a coach to say about a freshman. Like that's not something, you hear a lot out of. And I mean, on top of that, like that's the stuff that separates the guys who make the jump, like who should be 3 or 4 year guys who become 1 or 2 year guys because they have basically jump started their skill set from the get go.
Shreyas Laddha, Kansas City Star, self-proclaimed basketball psycho. Obviously, this is the first kickoff for Kansas basketball with Late Night in the Fog coming up tonight. I've been asking this question because I still, as a media member, last year was my first year going to Late Night and actually trying to pull something out of it. And it was hard, right? So, what do you expect? Like, what do you pull out of Late Night in the Fog trying to assess what's going out there on the court?
Well, I like to see what guys have chemistry kind of inbuilt with each other. Guys, I want to see the two-man game between Flory and Darren. Everyone talks about it, but I want to see it in fruition. I want to see if they can shoot the ball. Remember, last year at Late Night, nobody could shoot the ball. And if you remember correctly, that was promotion of what was to come with
Right,
KU
yeah.
basketball. I feel like it's very important. I mean, like they're not playing defense to the level that matters, but you can take away some positives. I try not to read too much into it, but I like to see the freshmen look as advertised or better. I want to see a couple of, oh my God, this guy's a pro, Darren Peterson type moments. I don't know if we'll get that chance to do that, but I'm hoping there'll be like a 1 or 2 moments there that are like, well, he just looks so good. I think those are the big things. I think another thing is like, I like to see kind of what the lineups are like. Obviously they're playing, inter squad games with the women's team, it looks like most of the time. But I want to see who gets along well with each other chemistry wise, but also like how they interact off the court. Like that stuff is the stuff that you build up in the regular season.
Yeah. I have a question about not necessarily the starting five because that's our favorite game is guess that starting five. But I have a question. So Sean and I were talking about this off air about how everyone says, "Oh, Kohl Rosario is the guy nobody's talking about." It's like, well, eventually, the more you say that,
Yeah.
it's like the ship of Theseus. Like, eventually, it's like he's the guy that everybody's talking about. Everyone's saying that nobody's talking about him. So you feel really confident in him. Darren Peterson and Melvin Council, they have had such a big chemistry. The guy I want to ask you about is Elmarko Jackson. Elmarko Jackson, he's fascinating to me because he was a McDonald's All-American. They just don't hand that out to anybody, right? So obviously the skill set is there. He was thrown to the Wolves his freshman year. Sophomore year, made a huge jump, but obviously dealt with that injury. Where is Elmarko going to fit in this lineup? How much of an impact is he going to have this year in your eyes?
I'm really fascinated by him because I feel like I've gotten the chance to know Elmarko and his family really well. A couple of years ago, I asked him straight up at Big Show Media Day, "Hey, there's rumors about you transferring out," and he was like, "That's not true. Everyone thinks I'm a 1 year guy. I think I'm a 2, 3, 4 year guy
That's
at
awesome.
Kansas." He has been a program guy since the moment he stepped foot here. He's never wavered in his commitment to this program, and I think his reward is going to be this year. Last year, Bill Self talked about how Marco would be starting. So to me, it looks like he had made that leap a little bit from freshman to sophomore year, and you could see it in spurts. But the really exciting thing I think with Elmarko for me is we've seen so many guys that are Bill Self make that 3rd year breakout. Jalen did it, Christian did it, a number of different guys did it.
Yeah.
You're hoping Elmarko does the exact same thing with Kansas, and I think he provides a skill set, hyper athleticism. You're hoping that he's fully recovered. It looks like everyone's saying he looks back to normal, and I think I'm excited to kind of just see the combo guard skills he provides. He's a tenacious defender. He's got length. He can play both point guard, play shooting guard. He's a guy that I think has worked really hard in his shooting in the time span of like the injury stuff. And he told me previously when I asked him like what have you worked on, he was like the way I see the game of basketball is different because he spent so much time
awesome,
like just sitting and watching, and he's become a kind of a coach in that sense, having to pick up things. And I feel like that stuff is underrated things because the game has probably slowed down for him tremendously from freshman year.
Yeah. Let's talk about Darren Peterson as Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star joins us. It's interesting. It seems like the number one thing the coaches are harping on with DP is moving without the ball, which is true. But it also, to me, is like okay, let's try to find something that he needs to work on. Right? And not to say it's not important, certainly more important in the college game than even NBA to move without the ball, you would think. But it seems like he's really going to be that guy. And interesting, Coach Self saying the 80 minutes thing, right? With him and Elmarko and Melvin Council Jr., who people are really impressed with. kind of sets that in stone right at the 1-2 spot. And then the 3 spot, a little bit more open. Haven't heard quite as much about Jaden Dawson, but obviously Rosario is a guy that everybody's talked about. Talk about first how different the skill sets are between those 3 guys who are going to be the 1-2 spot in this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Darren's a playmaker. He can do a little bit of everything on the court. You know, I think everyone is always impressed. It was interesting. I think it was Elmarko that said that Darren's best attribute was his shooting, because I don't really think Darren's
Yeah.
best attribute is shooting, but he must be shooting the heck out of the ball in these practices, which I thought was really, really interesting. I mean, we're getting so nitpicky, I think, on Darren Peterson weaknesses because like this guy's a pro. Like Bill Self said it, he's a 25-year-old man in a 18-year-old's body,
Right.
and he's got the build for it. He's got a plenty of strength. He's jacked. He can get to the rim. He can finish through contract. I think he's going to have some, transition kind of okay playing college ball. I'm playing against grown men who are 25, 26, 23, 24, whatever. Some games like that, but I think we're going to have a learning curve like we saw with Cooper Flag where the initial few games, okay, yeah, he struggled a little bit against KJ Adams first half, and then the second half he comes out and he's figured out KJ Adams. I think we're gonna see that a lot with Darren. With Elmarko and Melvin, both of those guys are just absolute dogs. Like Melvin's a guy that can play great defense, hound the defender. I think he takes pride in his ability to be a lockdown defender. I think Elmarko gives a lot of that too with his length and his versatility, just to play multiple positions. Uh, I'm excited to kind of see which one's the better shooter. I mean, Melvin's a decent 3-point shooter. I think Elmarko could be better than he's shown in freshman year. Um, I think both of those guys are guys that, you know, if you have the ball in their hands, they can still play make. But the reality of the situation, this team is going to go through Darren Peterson 9 times out of 10. The only time it won't is when Darren Peterson is on the bench. Like it is what it is. Like
Let Ginyu cook. Come on now.
yeah. He's gonna backpack them to a lot of wins. I mean, and I think this is where what Elmarko and Melvin are gonna have to be really good at is when they don't have the ball, are they getting to spots where Darren Peterson can find them? When he's getting double teamed, when he's getting the attention at the rim, are they at the 3-point line to take that 3-point shot? Are they there at the spots that need to be where they are good at shooting? I think that's the stuff that is going to separate how good the chemistry is between these 3 guys. And they offered a lot of different things on the court, but I think the big thing is they have athleticism, they have a decent shooting ability, and all 3 of them can handle the ball. Kansas didn't have a lot of ball handlers last year, and we saw that firsthand. I think Kansas is going to be much improved in that aspect of just having guys that they can trust to hold the ball without turning it over.
I don't know if there are 2 different point guards with complete opposite skill sets as DeJuan Harris and Darren Peterson, but here's something similar that I think could be a concern this year. To your point, with Wando last year when he was out, it was a problem, right? Say what you will about him, but when he wasn't on the court, that was a problem for KU. How does this team prevent that being the same case when DP is not in there? Like, what's your confidence level in Elmarko and Melvin Council that we're not looking at a team that's kind of lost when there's no Darren Peterson?
Yeah, I think there's a high amount of confidence in the sense that there has been playmaking ability that I think Elmarko's shown since his high school days. One of the most interesting about Elmarko is he's only been playing basketball for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like he started playing freshman year of high school, really. And Elmarko has done a really good job of growing his game. I think with him this year, we're going to see different opportunities for him to play make and handle the ball and take care of the rock. I expect Melvin will get the ball a little bit there too, but I have a feeling the backup point guard role, Elmarko is going to be the guy getting the minutes to handle the ball and take up the offense, initiate it all. Just because I feel like he's done it before. Melvin, not that Melvin hasn't, but I feel a little more confident in Elmarko than I do in Melvin Council.
Shreyas Laddha, Kansas City Star, joins the show. And Shreyas, the preseason Big 12 poll came out. Kansas is laying at 6 right now. It's Houston, BYU, Tech, Arizona, Iowa State, then Kansas. Kind of expected KU to take a drop, especially after 2 really disappointing years from the previous years. What are your thoughts on Kansas sitting at 6? Are there any surprises to you in that Big 12 poll, also kind of where it lays out?
I was a little surprised K-State was number 9. I mean, I think that team to me, is just a question mark outside of PJ Haggerty. I mean, there's a lot of potential there, but
Sure.
I wasn't super surprised. I mean, like, look, I think on paper the ceiling of this team is much higher than the last 2 years, but the floor could be a little uglier just because there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of freshmen that are gonna have to play minutes. I think the big thing is Darren Peterson is going to backpack them, though a lot of wins that Cooper Flag backpack Duke too. I think they should be a second weekend team. I don't really care too much about preseason Big 12 rankings because the other situation is it's coaches think this thing and then usually very rarely does it turn out to be anywhere close to what they think or the media thinks to be fair. And I think Kansas will be better. Like, I wrote about it today in my mailbag, but I think they're going to struggle at times in non-conference play, but I think they're going to be better in conference play because I feel like this is a team that's going to be hot going into March Madness, going into the Big 12 tournament because they're such a young team and there's a lot of moving pieces. I think there could be times where Bill Self is going to say the cliche line he loves to say, guys, it's November. Like, I don't know what this team is right now. Like, either they win against Duke and MSG and everyone freaks out and they're like, oh my God, this is the second coming of whatever Heidel team that won a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Or they lose against Duke in a way that's like, guys, we have a lot to go. Like, there's a long season. So, I think there's a lot of testing opportunities for them. UConn's a really great team. Duke is a good team. UNC will be solid. And, if they can win a couple of those games, I feel more confident that they can be in the top 3, 4 of the conference than, in the middle of the pack that they are right now.
Yeah, and it kind of pains us to say, but we had to say it the other day. KU's back in the polls, right? It was mid-February the last time KU was in the polls after a kind of a tough end, especially to the season. Some games that we want to completely erase from our memory. But yeah, Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star joins the show. Shreyas, just one or two more for you. Let's talk KU football. Your thoughts on the Texas Tech loss? Obviously, the big story is K-State. The Tech game seems like it was forever ago, and there have been some side stories on that as well. But in terms of on the field, KU showed a little resiliency, but Tech was too much for him in the end.
I mean, look, Texas Tech was going to win that game. I thought they were going to win that game pretty handily. I guess, I was hoping if you are a Kansas fan, you're hoping Jalen Daniels put together a masterclass, which I think he did with the offensive line giving what they gave him and, him constantly being under duress. I think he had a really great game, and it's just a testament to how good his season has been so far. But there's a clear level of class difference in how good Texas Tech is and in how good Kansas is. And we talked about this before the show, right? It's Lance Leipold has to show that he can get to a point where they're beating or competing really with the top end of the conference. Last year, they did it against some teams where they won against a bunch of ranked teams, and then they went to Baylor with the season on the line, a bowl game on the line, and they just completely looked horrible. And that being said, I think there is such an interesting thing with this KU season because there's a lot of things that can happen in the next 3-4 games. And I think depending on what happens in the next 3-4 games, people are either going to be in a very distraught mode or, okay, thank God we've righted the ship after losing really badly against Texas Tech. Texas Tech was better in every sense of the way in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line was just much better than KU. They ran the ball down KU's throat, and I think that's been a issue for Kansas defense is the inability to stop the run this year. I mean, 300 yards is nuts. Like that's a little embarrassing to be honest with you. And it's something to me that gives me a little bit of concern because there was so much talk about DK McDonald being better than Brian Moreland, being better overall, and I think they've shown it at different times. But between this game, the Cincinnati game, just you're putting so much pressure on the offense. And Jalen Daniels has delivered, I think, as much as you can hope Jalen Daniels delivers. Obviously, the offense isn't the core of the second half, but they're still moving the ball. They weren't perfect, but I felt like, if you are a Kansas fan or if you're a Kansas player, you just go in, you look at the Texas game. Okay, well that was horrible, but it should have been expected. Okay, we have a chance in front of us against 4 teams outside of Oklahoma State. There's probably 3 toss-ups right there, right, or 4 toss-ups.
Yeah.
And if you come out of there only losing maybe 1, your season has gone really well. If you come out of there, you come out lose K-State, you lose Utah, or you lose Arizona. Okay, things are looking a little hairy. You come out of there, lose K-State, Iowa State, and Arizona or Utah. The season is kind of gone, lost at that point. You can't have a second straight year with how easy the schedule was on paper that you don't make a bowl game. I'm sorry. It's just a disappointing season if that happens. And there's a lot of expectations, and it's a wasted season because Jalen Daniels has put together top 5 season in college football this so far, and they have a $300 million stadium renovation that is also ongoing. It just has to be. You have to make a bowl game, and it has to be a decent bowl game in my mind.
Yeah. You kind of alluded to it while you were talking about what happened in the Texas Tech game, but Lance has been really good off of buys. I think KU has won their last 5 games coming off of buys. What's the biggest thing that you want to see improved coming off of this bye heading into the K-State game?
I hope they don't get run like they got ran off the field by by Texas Tech. I really hope Avery Johnson and, their stable running backs that Kansas State has doesn't run the ball down KU's throat. Like, I think that is a real worry of mine because that's probably the best way of offense for Kansas State. So I'm hoping the defense can stay a step forward and learn from the experience. And their tackling is such an issue. I think that's a massive thing to me that we don't talk about enough is just feels like the angles that they take to tackle sometimes are really bad, and other times they're just not wrapping up guys. Like if you go and watch like the bottom end of the Big 12 conference, there are teams that look better than Kansas at tackling players. So you're hoping that stuff looks better.
Shreyas, you got a lot of stuff going on at the Kansas City Star right now. I understand you got a big interview coming up. Give us a preview of what's to come with all your work at the Kansas City Star. Go ahead and just give yourself a plug.
Yeah, I'm working to talk to Mr. 6'7" himself, Taylor Kinney, in the next hour or so, about the 6'7" meme, and hopefully talking a little bit about some of the guys that Kansas have picked up. I still don't really know what it means. I'm going to be honest. I've read the Wikipedia page about it, and I like still.
You're
don't
not alone.
understand.
I still have no idea.
I'm 27 years old and I feel like 45. Just trying to figure out how this became a big thing, and I don't understand why people care about it. But he's built a brand. He's 1 million+ followers on Instagram. He has 6'7" water. Like it's taken a while to ship. I've heard from some of the fraternities were saying that they haven't gotten their 6'7" water.
Really?
Yet.
So you haven't tried it yet?
No, I'm ready to try. I'm actually intrigued to try the 6'7" water. Like, does it taste better because of the meme? Like, sometimes, or because he's gonna play for Kansas next year. I'm very excited to ask him about how this came to fruition, actually. And I can't wait for him to mumble some answer that I can't comprehend because he's a high school kid. But, but yeah. So that's the big thing, and then obviously working on a few other stories, base camp stuff, etc. But yeah, it's we're gonna have some late night stuff, some takeaways, some freakouts from some dunk that somebody has today. And it's like, oh my god, they're
Sam Cunliffe and Charlie Moore are gonna be the next thing. Late night special.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's exciting. Shreyas Laddha, Kansas City Star. Well, I tell Dan often he's gonna be a fantastic old man, and it sounds like that's a similar case for you. But appreciate you coming on, Shreyas. And yeah, make sure you check out all of his great coverage, World Cup coverage as well from Shreyas Laddha, Kansas City Star. Hey, more coming up on Rock Chalk Sports right after this on KansasNation.com.
I'm Justice Finkley. You're watching KansasNation.com. Rock Chalk.
Hey, I thought you were gonna.
I was.
Were you ready for the ding, 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 ding?
I was ready for it. Yes.
Okay. 5 o'clock on a Friday. Ding, 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 ding. Sports stock market here on Rock Chalk Sports. Dan, catch us up on the world of sports. Just this isn't really a stocks up, stocks down, but stock is up on competitiveness. 2-2, best of 7 ALCS as the Jays took the last 2 games in Seattle after the Mariners took the first 2 games up north. Best of 7, 2-2. On the flip side, Dodgers are up 3-0 on the Brewers.
So it's 2-2. This is game 5. I thought game 5 was the best 2 words in all of sports.
No, I'm really hoping we get a game 7. The Road Dogs, though. Stock's up on Road Dogs as the road teams won all 4. Dodgers are just running a train through the Brewers. Brewers are the 1 seed. It doesn't matter. 3-0. Dodgers have Ohtani on the slab today. So it could be another quick out from Milwaukee. But there's your update on the MLB postseason. Dodgers a win away from the World Series appearance.
Man. Jeff Passan said something about how if whoever wins this series, it's going to determine whether or not baseball is even going to be played in 2027 because of the new labor stuff and the union stuff and all that. Like people are going to be asking for, salary caps. And it's like the Dodgers are going to say no, obviously, but like the Brewers are going to say yes. So they're going to try to fight for salary caps, and it's going to maybe determine. Maybe it's going to lead to a holdout. Who knows exactly? So essentially, this series is going to be kind of the breaking point in terms of whether or not baseball is even going to be played in 2027.
This series is going to determine who represents the National League in the World Series.
Also that, but there's some bigger
I just wanted to
things.
bring that up as well.
Yes, I'm aware, but also there are some bigger things at risk
Perhaps.
as well. Stocks up on matching, by the way. Sean and I were both matching today for the 4th time this week.
You're gonna start wearing pink.
Oh, hey, I'll start here. This isn't really in sports, but stocks down on Arby's. So apparently, Arby's is being sued for false advertising by Robert Freund Law. Someone went through Robert Freund Law to sue Arby's. The lawsuit alleges that the ads made the sandwiches appear to have at least 100% more meat than they really do, made the meat look like rare roast beef when it's actually fully cooked, and Arby's also lost the motion to dismiss the case. Arby's went to court, said, "Hey, we want this thrown out." Arby's lost that. So Arby's is now on the chopping block. They could be losing a lot of money for false advertising.
Stocks up on litigation, and honestly, I'm kind of on board with.
Same. No, 100%.
I mean,
I'm
you
with it
go to
too.
Arby's, the sandwiches literally look like you have well done roast beef, right?
Yes.
But I mean, everywhere does this. Like Wendy's is my favorite burger place of all the chains. I want to throw that out there.
Sure.
But still, the burgers look nothing like the Dave's Double that you see on commercial.
No, the only thing that's similar is that they're square.
Yes.
Like they're like, oh yeah, I guess
Which
that
I
is
really
technically
like
a square patty.
But yeah, the Arby's in particular, they look so tasty, and it turns out that they're not actually looking. So I'm kind of on board with this.
I am too, 100%. Like there's been a few times where I've gone to Arby's, got a double beef and cheddar. I'm like,
what is this?
Just double beef,
right?
Are you sure it's double
Arby's
beef?
sandwiches you can eat in like 2 bites. They're
They
great,
also have
though.
steak nuggets. Do you know this? It's kind of like when Taco Bell did chicken wings. You're like,
yeah,
like let's
stick
take like
to-
I
although Taco Bell
I
doing
appreciate the creativity.
Taco Bell doing fries that worked out.
Yeah, nacho fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love nacho fries. But yeah, shout out to Arby's. They need to figure that out. They need to which either A, market it to where it looks like the actual sandwiches, which would probably be a bad idea.
Just have the
'cause
sandwiches
they
look
look
like crap.
trash. Or B, make your sandwiches bigger.
Hey, a little Arby's sauce fixes everything. So it's
I
fine.
like their curly fries. Arby's, by the way, I have been on record saying that Arby's is cold weather food. Because who wants to eat a hot roast beef sandwich when it's 95 degrees outside?
You know what I had
I
for
will
dinner?
only eat Arby's in the months of which, granted, like this month has been weird because it's been like 90 degrees through mid-October. But like October to like February is the only time I'll ever even think about eating Arby's.
You know what I had last night for dinner over at Johnny's Tavern in West Lawrence?
Roast?
I had a French dip, but I turned it into a Philly. I added jalapenos, I
Ooh.
added mushrooms,
You
I
monster.
added onions.
Man.
And then the trick is before you dip it in the au jus, throw a little onion ring on there.
Oh,
right?
Get out of
Oh
town.
my God,
Look
are
at
you
this
kidding
guy.
me?
Now that's creativity.
Let's go.
That's creative.
Let's
I like
go.
that a lot. Stocks up on plagiarism. I have a couple of pictures for this. So this tweet came out. It's very, very funny. Ashley Springsteen, she said, one of the best parts about the postseason so far have been the dueling graphics between teams, but this one's by Matt Milligan. It's easily my favorite so far. Elijah, if you can pull up the ALCS picture. So it's of the Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners. They have swords, but the sword is made out of the Space Needle and then whatever big thing in Toronto. I don't even know. It's the thing that Drake sat on in that one that one album cover that he had. And people are holding them like swords and they're fighting and it's cool. It's like, oh, that's really fun. Man, that is a cool idea. I wonder who came up with that. Well, I'll tell you who came up with that. The MLS came up with that. We have another picture here for you. Elijah, if you could pull that up. The MLS Cup in 2016, they did this too. The exact same. Look at this. This is absolutely ridiculous. So this is the ALCS one. The MLS did the literally exact same thing. They're holding the swords. They just copied it. Exactly.
Plagiarism
They
at its
changed
finest.
the Toronto color, and that was it.
Are you glad that it's a too smaller market? I mean, the Jays are small market, aren't they?
Ish.
Two smaller
say they're
market,
small market, yeah.
teams, because obviously you're not happy about the Dodgers, but
No.
it's been a different.
In terms of like payroll, I think they're they're paying Vladdy a lot, but like other than that,
Yeah.
nobody really, right?
Smaller market, right? You don't have the same Yankees, Red Sox. Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah,
But anyway.
I'm good with it too, but also I'm not good with plagiarism.
Yeah.
You can't be plagiarizing people. You know what I mean? It's not good. You can't be doing that. Get a little creativity in your life. You know what I mean? At least silver lining. At least they didn't use ChatGPT.
That's true.
I have a moral thing against that. I don't like using that. I think he's like, if you're gonna make something, like, have somebody make it for you. Pay your artists. Stocks down on hypothetical SEC wins, believe it or not.
Auburn's got to be involved.
No, Auburn's not involved, actually.
They're just hypothetical national championships.
Yes, hypothetical national championships. It's so funny because that is always what it is. It's like, oh, Texas would beat anybody in the ACC. It's like, okay, but like, you haven't. Like that's the whole SEC media bias is built around hypothetical wins. Brent Venables, he had a media availability, and this is Brent Venables on playing in the SEC and it becoming a one-possession league. He said, this isn't the old Big 12 days where Oklahoma destroys everybody every single week except for one game a year. That's a quote from Brent Venables. The Big 12 conference, the actual Big 12 conference, they tweeted this out, and we have a picture of it. The Big 12 tweeted out, Coach Venables lost 8 conference games in his 2 seasons in the Big 12.
I love how they just kept it straight and to the point.
They did.
Absolutely.
And
Venables
they just
probably,
facts.
Venables probably, was talking about before he was there.
Yeah.
But it's still hilarious that the Big 12 would respond this way.
Absolutely. Brent Venables.
And they didn't come at it with any salt. They just said, to clarify, he lost 8 games in 2 years.
When Lincoln Riley left and Brent Venables took over, it was a dumpster fire. And then they went to the SEC and they still been bad. And they're like, yeah, but at least we would clean up in the Big 12. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because you didn't. The hypothetical, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I hate it so much.
It is. It's the classic SEC. I know you love the SEC bias, though. I know that's your favorite thing. So I'm glad that you got some passion on this.
Absolutely. Stocks up on long-term memory. This is great. The Titans ticket office, they have people who text people about season tickets. This is just a funny text message. I don't have a picture of this one, but this is a screenshot of a text message. Someone said, hey, I don't have this phone number saved in my phone. Not sure who this is. And the text said, hey, it's Dan from the new stadium team for the Titans. You told me I'm in if Brian Callahan is fired on September 23rd, 2025 at 3:08 p.m. He actually timestamped it too and said, well, we fired Brian Callahan. Buy season tickets now.
Yeah.
I love the fast acting, like, hey man, I have receipts. You said you're gonna buy season tickets if they fire Brian Callahan. They fire Brian Callahan. Now you gotta buy your season tickets.
That's so great.
It's great.
That is so great.
I love
so
that.
the Titans have that 1 win this season, right? Aren't they 1-5?
Yes.
And
they
that
won
was beating the Cardinals when I needed Cardinals and Survivor. So
Right.
that's exciting. And now the Titans are getting 7 at home. What do you think? You think Cam Ward, real quick, you think he's going to be fine?
I hope so.
The NFL keeps.
I think the people around him are bad. I think he's a good quarterback.
I agree. It's just you gotta figure it out soon, right? Like we talked about with guys like Jaden Daniels and Drake May and Bo Nix, you kind of know early, and it gets late early out there for an NFL QB. Tony
sure.
Richardson too.
Yes, Tony Richardson as well.
On the flip side.
Yeah, man, Titans. They're just. But shout out to the Titans ticket office.
I was
man.
in Nashville in April. They're building a new stadium that's going to open in 2027.
Good for
It's
them.
going to be incredible. It
Didn't
is
it-
right next to the current stadium.
But the Bridgestone Stadium is really nice though. Like,
The arena?
Yeah, the arena. How old is it?
Yeah. Like the Nissan Stadium.
Oh,
That
Nissan is what it is. Yeah,
but Bridgestone's
not
the
Bridgestone.
arena. There,
Bridgestone's
so
the arena.
Good name drop there. Nissan Stadium. It was built in either 2000 or 2001, so it is not that old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
it's like Arrowhead was built in the 60s, and they're like,
it is
they're still
crazy though.
kicking.
I am not kidding. People say, oh, you could throw a rock and hit it. It's not even that. Like they're almost touching.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but
you
it's
throw
gonna
like
be
an
nice.
unfolded piece of paper and it might hit it. Yeah.
Also,
I love
Nashville
that.
barbecue sucks.
I'd never had it.
Yeah.
I can only imagine it's not as good as Kansas City.
Yeah.
Stock is up on friendly banter. This is hilarious. Lane Kiffin, he always manages to stir up some stuff in the media. Lane Kiffin, he was asked about whether or not him or Kirby Smart burns more calories in a game. We have a video that I want Elijah to play. Let's go ahead and play the Lane Kiffin video. He's when he was asked if him or Kirby Smart burns more calories.
Off the wall question: you and Kirby, probably some of the more demonstrative coaches on the field. Who do you think burns more calories in a game, you or him?
I don't know. That's a good question. I walked by the TV and saw his press conference today, so it looked like he's burned too many calories.
Rude. He said, I saw his press conference today. Doesn't look like he's burned too many calories. Rude.
Stirring some things up.
Come on, man.
Kirby Smart have anything to say?
Kirby Smart has neglected to comment
Yes.
on these. I love Lane Kiffin, dude.
Yeah.
I watched. There's an E60 about him, about his time, like just throughout his entire life when he,
What a
went to
strange
the
life he's
Raiders.
lived.
Strange life.
Alabama, USC,
Tennessee.
Yeah,
because he was the head coach of Tennessee, and then immediately, like everyone was super in on Tennessee, and then he left, and it's like, well,
yeah.
Dang, man, that's just it's absolutely insane. One more here. Stock's down on media.
Aw.
So I know. Well, so this is coming back to something that I have been adamant about for a long time. So apparently Joe Mazzulla and his staff, they played a pickup basketball game against all of the Boston Celtics beat writers. All the Boston Celtics media.
That couldn't have gone well.
No. So in the way that this is presented to the media, they're like, hey, we're going to have a media pickup basketball game, which is fun. They have the media play against each other, which I think should happen for KU. And then while they were there interviewing Joe Mazzulla, he goes, oh, by the way, he goes, you guys aren't playing against each other. You guys are playing against us.
Right.
You know what the final score was?
Oh, okay. Well, I need a little bit of context.
Sure.
How many minutes, or was it first to a point?
It wasn't first to any kind of points. I don't know how many minutes it was. I didn't see the full thing.
If you had to guess how many minutes based on the final score.
Probably like 6-minute quarters.
6-minute quarters.
5 6-minute quarters.
I'm going to say the Joe Mazzulla-led Boston Celtics staff beat the beat writers 72-8.
Ooh, it's better than that.
Okay.
57-4.
Oh my God, that was a great guess by me, by the way.
It was a great guess.
57-4. Wow. Who
57-4.
scored for the media? Was it Henry Greenstein?
No, Henry Greenstein did not score for the
Didn't
media.
cover the Celtics anymore.
Yeah,
I was thinking of the Lakers,
but they
California.
just absolutely killed them. Joe Mazzulla, by the way, former West Virginia legend.
Yes,
I mean, the guy was all. I mean, we know he was a fantastic basketball player back in the day, and same with the rest of the entire staff. So I want this to happen. Maybe not against the coaches, which granted, I don't know. Curtis Townsend could have a strap on him. Who knows, right? But I want the KU media to play a pickup game. I think that would be so much fun.
Great
because that
me and you on the same team.
Yeah, 100%
for sure.
Yeah, that team is going to be. I mean, yeah, it's going to be me, you. Let's see who else. We can have Springer on our team.
There's a really tall guy.
Yeah, Tate's pretty tall, and then Shea Wildeber, and then we play against Henry Greenstein, Jordan Gusky. I'll throw Flaherty on the other team. Swain. I don't know. Shigo Kirby.
Hey, pick up basketball. I'm always in.
We how about this? We get Greg Gurley on our team.
That works.
That works.
He once scored 13 against Furman. Didn't miss a shot.
Man,
Greg
good.
Gurley. Best West Virginia player of all time, and it is multiple choice. Joe Mazzulla.
Yes.
Jerry West. Or Kevin Pittsnoggle.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Javon
Carter.
Carter.
It could be. No, I'm going Pittsnoggle.
Oh no, I got it. Bob Huggins.
Another legend. That's our sports stock market for today. We're going to hear from some more Jayhawks a little bit later as we'll get Melvin Council on. And we're also going to hear from Brandon Schneider, the head women's coach, in advance of late night tonight at 6:30. Make sure you're tuned in to kansasnation.com and all of our socials for coverage of that. You're watching kansasnation.com.
I'm Justice Finkley. You're watching kansasnation.com. Rock Chalk.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports. Late Night in the Fog tonight, presented by Hy-Vee at 6:30. Big shout out to John, Jen, Keegan, everybody, all the great people over at Hy-Vee for hosting us for Rock Chalk Sports.
Steak was fantastic last night, too.
It was. They do indeed have great food, $12 steaks on Thursdays, and they're also great partners of us here at kansasnation.com. We heard from Brandon Schneider, Coach Brandon, and the KU women, who have a really talented roster, are also going to be in action tonight in a scrimmage setting late night in the fog. Let's hear from Coach Brandon earlier this week.
Take questions for Coach. We have mics on both sides. You just raise your hand and we'll get one over to you.
Brandon, it seems like the appropriate question to ask for the event. What do you expect and where do you want your team to set expectations going into the season?
Honestly, we haven't really talked about
expectations or goals at this point. I think we have a closed scrimmage on Sunday that I think we're all really looking forward to. Just the opportunity to go against somebody else and learn a little bit more about each other and get some film outside of practice film. And then I think as we get closer to the Fort Hays exhibition, we'll start having those discussions. But I hope our expectations are really high.
And then with regard to that, the added depth that you have with newcomers and then returning talent, how has that played out in practice? How has that helped improve you guys, all that stuff so far?
I would say most recently, there's evidence of it in that, we had fall break and our male practice players were, I don't know, in Vegas or wherever they go. And so, really went against each other a lot, and to have the kind of depth to be able to do that was really refreshing.
Coach, you've got those 4 games on national television this year. Just working in with recruiting and all this and program, I guess you could say just program aura, I guess would be a word for it. Do you think that plays in at all?
Well, I'd like to have more of them at home of the 4, but I think any time that you can be on national TV, regardless of where the contest is held, it's an opportunity to showcase not only your program but Kansas athletics and KU in general.
You mentioned expectations should be pretty high for this group. Is 6 in the preseason poll, or is that sort of go with your
I think it is what it is. I'm not sure why we even do preseason polls anymore, because I know I had to turn one in, but I don't even know who the hell's on anybody's roster, to be quite honest. And we had teams that didn't post their roster until maybe 2 days before that poll was done. So I think it's pretty difficult. But I want to finish higher than that. If that helps you.
Can you talk a little bit about the way this recruiting class came together and sort of what you've seen from the freshmen so far?
Yeah, it's a class we're really excited about. I think, I think it really pairs well with our returners. And I think even with the last addition in Lily Meister, I thought that she was a player that was really going to pair well with our other frontline players, and particularly Julia Davis and Reagan Williams. And that's so far proven to be correct. But I think, hopefully there's just a domino effect. I know that obviously when we signed Samaya a couple of years ago, that played a big factor in attracting, more high caliber players, but most importantly, local. And that's where we really like to continue to be really competitive is local recruiting.
Mo was saying that one of the strengths of the class was how switchable they are defensively and how they can sort of guard up and guard down without, sort of a 6'6" center on this team. What kind of value could they
Yeah, I mean, there's things we don't have on our roster. And those things are not hard to spot. We don't have a 6'6" Tiana Jackson rim protector, but I think one of the things that people who have come and watched us practice immediately notice just our overall team length. And we're hoping that we can, make that work to our benefit.
Coach, you had a significant scout on Julia since she was local. Since she's arrived, what element of her game pleasantly surprises you, whether it be passing, inside, outside presence?
Well, she's a terrific passer. I think can really run the floor, can rebound, is really good around the rim. But I think where she's grown tremendously already is stretching her game not just to the high post, but beyond. I think she's so much more comfortable in some perimeter situations. But the thing that impresses me the most is she has a plan the minute she walks in the gym as to what she wants to get accomplished in what we call pre-practice. And that is very rare for a young player to walk in and immediately get to work. And that's exciting.
Keely and Livy, I know they've been banged up a little bit, but now that you've seen them play, what kind of impact do you see them, particularly from perimeter shooting?
I think they're both elite three-point shooters. I think they can really stretch the defense. But they've shown in our practices that they're more than that. They can put the ball on the floor and attack the rim and get the ball in the paint. They can make plays for others. Our expectations, I would say, David, are the same as when we signed them. We expect them to come in and contribute immediately.
In talking about Lily, you mentioned how her skill set maybe complements the other forwards. How do you see those three all sort of comparing and contrasting with each other and fitting together?
Well, Lily's an exceptional passer, and I think that she's proven to be a really good perimeter shooter and has shot the three really well. Shot the three really well in practice. So I just think that from a matchup perspective, teams are going to have some decisions to make, as to who they're going to play, on our frontline players, just relative to what their individual skill sets are.
And then how has Tati done this offseason?
Tati is maybe our most improved player from the time that she stepped on campus. Maybe that was June 2nd to now. She has just been a tireless worker. She has incredible energy. We track their movement and all those different things every day with the technology we have. And her output is by far and away the highest of any player on our team every day. She just plays incredibly hard every single possession.
Coach, when you have a player like Samaya, how does she play it? How does she work with some of the newcomers, the transfers and the freshmen, and helping them develop, helping them get used to Lawrence and KU in general?
Well, and you've probably heard me say this before, but when our veterans were making some decisions as to where they were going to live in the off season, we allowed them to live off campus as juniors. And I asked Samaya, I said, "Hey, what do you think you're going to do?" And she says, "Well, I'm staying on campus. I need to be there for the freshmen." I think that's a pretty good indicator as to what her mindset is, as a leader and a teammate. But I also think the entire summer she spent just trying to make people better. She wasn't near as aggressive in our practices as what we hope her to be in games, because I think she was really trying to keep everybody involved. In fact, a couple of days ago, at the end of a practice, I challenged her in front of the team that, hey, it's time now to crank it up and go be you as we get closer and closer to playing games.
You talked about preseason polls. Do you think other coaches in the Big 12 hold your same perspective on how viable those are?
We're probably split. We have Big 12 meetings, and those are things that we talk about. I think it's just my opinion. I think it hurts, teams that are picked, at or around the bottom. This is a prime recruiting time right now. Signing day is coming up in less than a month, and you're trying to sign good players, and then it comes out that you're picked, 14th, 15th in the league. How does that help anybody? That's just my opinion.
Anything else for Brandon? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
It's KU head women's coach Brandon Schneider. Excited to see those girls in action tonight. 6:30, Late Night in the Fog, presented by Hy-Vee. We're going to hear from Melvin Council and Samis Calderon after this on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com.
This is Dale Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Then Melvin Council. If you ain't a dog, you're dog food.
I believe it was Dostoevsky who said that first.
Ah, I think so. Yeah, I think that might have been plagiarism.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Melvin Council, well-read in Dostoevsky.
Council confirmed dog. He spoke to the media on Wednesday. Let's hear everything he said.
It's going to come along, and Coach Self knows what he's doing with the guys, and I just can't wait.
There's a lot of star power up top, but is there depth with this group?
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Do you think there's a lot of guys that are going to make a name for themselves on
Yeah,
this team?
most definitely. A lot of guys, even people that don't got the hype or clout, going to have a lot of hype coming with their name.
Is that fun for you guys as players to see come together when everything starts coalescing after you put in a couple months of work and you start
Yeah,
things start
most
working?
definitely. You know, during like the March run, you know, we got to be together to keep playing basketball. We can't just, no hill. We got to always stick together, and that's what we do on and off the court.
Okay, good luck. Thank you very much.
Nolan, I was going to ask, as you look ahead to playing in Allen for late night for the first time, what are you excited about when it comes to the experience?
I'm excited really for the crowd, you know, because I've never been in an environment where it's a sellout game and stuff like that. So I'm just very excited to see the bright lights and the fans. That's really it.
What's it like playing with Flory? He's really tried to get better this offseason. What have you seen for the fan?
Oh, Flory made my game so easy, you know, just by when you come pick and roll, you don't know what I'm going to do, and I can just throw it up, you can catch it. Like, it don't matter where I shoot the ball. His first jump is unbelievable.
I heard in an interview recently, DP said he thinks you and he can be one of the best backcourts in the country. What does it mean to have him say something like that and include you in it too?
You know, that means a lot, and I know what I got to bring to the table with him, you know, because, you know, he need help, and I'm glad I'm here to teach him the game because I've been in it for so long, and, you know, we got a thing calling when he Batman and I'm Robin, and, you know, that's my little brother right there, you know.
I know earlier in the summer you said you were going to place an emphasis on making things hard for him in practice. How has that gone over the last few months?
I mean, it's been going very good, but, you know, it's DP, you know. You can't stop him, you know. It's DP. You know, he's going to get to his spots, make tough shots. But I'm just trying to tell him, like, that's going to be like that every night. And I just want to push him to tell him, like, hey, I'm not going to be the only one on you. Everybody else is. So, and he's being good with it, too. And it's a lot of bodies go at him, me, Trey, or G, Elmarko. Everybody want to guard him, like, just, like, tell him, like, it's going to be a lot of people, like, different size, fast, quicker, whatever. So he's ready for it.
You mentioned G. What has he brought to the table since he joined the team?
Oh, G brought a lot. You know, he's the OG of the team. We call him Granddad. He just bring, like, he's in the right spots. He cheats the plays and stuff like that. And, like, he's just playing the game the right way, making us think a little bit quicker and faster. So he brings a lot to the table.
But when it comes to helping a player like Darren Peterson, you talked about, you know, with your experience and whatnot, did you kind of take that upon yourself, or was that a conversation you had with coaches or anything like that, and you just decided, like, hey, here's a young guy that I can help with my experience?
Yeah, I took that by myself because I want to see everybody around me win, and I want to see him get to the highest level. And I believe that he should go first pick because I see the work, I see everything in him, and I just want to push him, and I know he got it.
How about some of the bigs? I mean, it seems like people aren't talking as much about them, but I mean, you got BT and Paul and Flory. There's a lot of talent. What are you seeing from those guys?
I mean, when we picked up Paul, before we picked up Paul, we was kind of like, we don't know how he's going to be. And when Paul came, we got something. We're going to be nice. Yeah. Like, Paul give us that extra, like, he's scared in the paint. Like, I don't think nobody's going to try him. He's just scared. His hands is big, so Paul's going to be a very good fit. And BT, he could play the 5 or the 4, and he's got a nice little jumper, so we're going to be good.
How about shooting the rock? Obviously, Jaden came in. That was one thing that he can do, but who do you see who can fill it up from outside?
I mean, Kohl. Kohl can shoot it.
Yeah.
Kohl can shoot it.
Yeah.
You know, I see highlights of him dunking, OTE, and stuff like that, but Kohl can shoot that thing.
Yeah.
What, anything specifically that you've been working on since you've got it through camp and all that stuff, like you personally trying to improve upon?
Yeah, I just been working on my shots. You know, DP gonna bring a lot of, and we got to play off him and make sure we knock down the open shots and make it easier for him. So that's what I've been working on.
Melvin, I'm David Lawrence. I do post-game interviews. I just want to establish contact. Love your game. I've been to a couple of practices. Toughness, some grit. Are those things that stand out about your game?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, that goes a long way. Started at Wagner with my coach, Donald Coleman. He taught me to be tough. You know, toughness go a long way, and gotta have heart. Don't back down from nobody.
Yeah, no fear.
Yep.
That's the other thing. So it's just come through your years at those other schools.
Yeah, yes, sir.
How's that going to make DP better, the fact that he's playing with you?
You know, when you get tired, it's only mental. You know, don't back down. Just keep fighting. Next play. You miss shots, next play. We with you. No matter what happens, next play.
Because you challenge him in practice.
Yeah, most definitely.
Have you ever seen a player like Darren before?
I have seen a player like Darren, but I haven't seen the work ethic that Darren puts in like he wants it. A lot of people don't got the work ethic like that. What Darren do?
Sorry, what player comes to mind?
Who was the player? Oh, the player was some dude named Javi from Wagner. Yeah.
Do the 3 transfers have?
That's Melvin Council earlier in the week. Let's hear from KU star freshman Samis Calderon. Big expectations for him. He spoke on Wednesday.
It is a lot of traffic here in campus. The food too. The food is a big part of it. In Brazil, I miss the food over there. It's a really good food. And in Atlanta, we have more options. Yeah. While here, we have good food, but it's not the same too, because it's not a big city.
So do you cook?
Yeah, a little bit.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to make?
Rice, beans. Yeah.
And who around the team has helped you adapt to being
Everybody always together. We try to do almost everything together, so everybody just try to help me.
You've mentioned your athleticism, your defensive skill that you bring to the ball here. Just what do you kind of see as your role here on the squad?
My role, just help the team out, do things that my body can do, like my athleticism makes me do, so it's my role in the team.
And just what excites you about this group? Got some cool newcomers coming in. Just what do you see out of the squad so far?
The squad is really good. We have one of the best players in the
country.
Yeah, in the country. And then his DP, so I'm really excited to play with him too. So
how good is DP?
DP is nice. He's nice. Everything that people have been talking about him, he's like that.
Samis, tell me about your excitement to get in front of the fans at Allen Fieldhouse on Friday.
I'm really excited. I never experienced something like that. College is amazing too. I came in my visit here. They had the exhibition game. I was like, damn, it's different. I want to experience that, so I'm excited. Late night too, coming on Friday. It's gonna be something similar like that.
Samis, how are you feeling right now, and what's maybe the adjustment from OTE to here been like for you?
I'm feeling great. OTE prepared me a lot. The process here was a little bit hard in the beginning to just adapt, but everybody was trying to help me, so it was easy.
When you analyze and look at your game, where do you think you can make the biggest impact early on? Is there an area or two where you think that you can step on the court and help right away?
Yeah, just being athletic, like getting boards, defending on offense, going to the rim, being attack every time.
Defensively, had you had a chance to guard pretty much everybody? I mean, obviously you're kind of one of those hybrid players, and if so, who are maybe the most difficult guard to guard and the most difficult big to guard?
The most difficult guard to guard on our team, I think is Elmarko, because he's shorter than me and he's too fast too. So, and he know how to change his speed really quick. But DP too, and the big is for sure Flo.
Yeah.
He's strong and he jumps a lot.
Yeah. What's it been like, I guess, seeing Flo and Paul down low? I mean, what are they going to bring to the table?
Flo, everybody got high expectations for him. I wasn't here last year, but I was watching the games, and everybody can tell just to see how he moved in the court. He improved a lot, and I'm excited to play with him.
Is there a player or two that surprised you so far? A player or two on the team that maybe surprised you or that stands out maybe that you didn't expect?
I think Kohl. I was playing with him, and then against him in the same league, and then right now he's doing great. So many things. He's doing more than he used to do, making more shots, being more athletic, and he surprised me.
How about the shooters on the team? What have you seen?
We got pretty good shooters. I think everybody can shoot the ball really well.
Everybody knows about Darren Peterson, how good he is. Is he as good as advertised?
Yeah.
What separates him maybe from others? His work ethic or his?
Yeah, he's a hard worker, but I think on the court he just make things look easier. A tough shot that you have to take, he make it and it just look easy to do. Not everybody can do it.
What have you seen with Bryson?
Bryson, BT. I used to play with him. I played with him for 2 years too. He got stronger, bigger, and he's moving faster too. And he coming back right now. He had an injury, his ankle, feet, I don't know, but everybody got high expectations for him. So.
It's kind of interesting one. Obviously, you weren't here last year, but it's a completely different roster for KU. Any conversations with whether it's Florio, Elmarko, Jamari, just kind of talking about, hey, we're turning the page, we got new guys, or have you been a part of that at all?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah. What's kind of the mindset then in general of the team?
I think everybody's in the same page, just focus on winning. First the Big 12, and then make to the Natty.
Yeah. What's going to take for that to happen? What's going to take for that to happen, for you guys to reach your goals?
Just work hard, be together, always.
That's Samis Calderon, 3 times asked about Darren Peterson. That's kind of how it goes when you've got that superstar on your team. Real quick before we get out of here, Dan, let's go through some top 25 and Big 12 game picks. Let's start in the top 25. Number 20, USC, plus 9.5 at number 13, Notre Dame. A classic battle, over under 60.5.
I love this rivalry. It's such a fun rivalry, but I do like Notre Dame in this game. It's going to be at Notre Dame. I'm not fully sold on USC. Lincoln Riley's doing some good stuff over there, but give me Notre Dame in this one. I like the over in this game, though. I think it's going to be a fun one.
The old Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart Bowl here. Number 5, Ole Miss, plus 7 at number 9, Georgia, over under 56.5.
So I like Ole Miss in this game to cover. I don't think that they win this game. I think it's going to be a little closer. I like Lane, even though he's such a controversial figure. I like Lane Kiffin a lot. I think he's a really good coach.
Number 10, LSU. At number 17, Vandy. Who do you like in this one?
Garrett Nussmeier gets it done, man. I'm not, maybe it's name bias. I don't know. I'm not fully sold on Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia is a fantastic quarterback. Give me LSU in this one.
Baylor, plus 3 at TCU as we move to the Big 12, 65.5.
I like the over in this game. 65.5 is such a big line, and I think both of their defenses are not good. I think both of their offenses are super fun. I like Josh Hoover, though. Give me Josh Hoover at home. TCU wins this one.
Got 5 more to get to real quick. Arizona, minus 1.5 at Houston, over under 47.5.
Arizona's going to pull away with this one. I understand it's at Houston, right? Connor Wegman's a good quarterback. Give me Arizona in this one. It's a no-brainer.
UCF is favored by 7.5 against West Virginia, over under 46.5.
Yeah, give me UCF. I think West Virginia's down in the dumps right now. UCF's going to blow them out of the water, win by 2 touchdowns maybe.
Number 7, Texas Tech, minus 7 at Arizona State, over under 51.5.
Tech's going to win this one by 3 touchdowns, man. Tech's just that good.
Number 23, Utah, minus 5.5 at number 15, BYU, 49.5.
The Holy War. This is going to be such a fun game. I think it's going to hit the over 49.5. I love that line. I love the over-under, not going to touch the line.
Number 24, Cincinnati, minus 23.5 at Oklahoma State, over under 58.5.
Oklahoma State, they're the Saints of college football. Fade them. Even though the line is at 23.5, I still like Cincinnati here.
Late night in the fog tonight at 6:30. Be locked into KansasNation.com and all of our socials. For Elijah Schmidt running the operations and Dan Courtwright, I'm Sean Kellerman saying we'll see you this weekend on all of our socials, KansasNation.com.